ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe.
Oh, too little to party. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another SH Figuarts action figure review on the Bandai Tamashii Nation's Marvel Avengers Endgame movies Mark 85 Iron Man. If you're trying to pick this up, you can do so at Megalopolis, City of Collectibles, where you can pick up your Marvel Legends and all kinds of other action figures. They have their daily deals and an awesome rewards points programs. Check them out, link in the description below. And I gotta give a big thanks to those of you that follow me on Facebook and that saw my thread asking about where I could find this for a reasonable price. I still paid a good chunk of money getting this a little bit later, but hey, I didn't pay the worst price on this guy. Anyway, on the side of the packaging right over here, it says SH Figuarts, Mark 85 Iron Man, and then on the very back, you can see a whole bunch of product shots. Now on this side, you get this little hologram sticker right there, and then on the top, it says Iron Man Mark 85 SH Figuarts, and not much more at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Mark 85 out of the packaging, and wow, this thing looks awesome. I love the design for this figure. That's my favorite thing about it, and that's mostly what I have to enjoy about this figure, because it doesn't really come with many accessories at all, and I do think that the fun factor really does come with the aesthetics of this piece over anything else. But of course, with SH Figuarts, we get great articulation. But let's get a closer look at those accessories, and then we'll take a closer look at this Mark 85 Iron Man. So this assortment of accessories is not too different from what we've seen in the past with SH Figuarts Iron Man figures. You get these repulsing blasting hands where you could plug in these effects. You get these other repulsing hands where you don't plug in the effects. You get these flat hands, you get the fisted hands, and you get relaxed hands. And these accessories right here look great. As always, I really like the accessories that we get with Figuarts, so that looks pretty cool with the frosty white right there. And then you get these repulsing blasting ones. These go right into the bottom of the feet, and then you get these repulsing blasting ones with the frosty white right over there. It's more and more translucent blue. Then you have these smaller ones, and you can see it turn really clear towards the end. To compare it to one of the Mark 50 ones, you can see that this is a much darker blue color than the 85. Now, this is not an accessory that comes with the figure or anything. He doesn't come with his own stand or anything, but you can remove this little panel on the back like most Iron Man figures and go ahead and plug in an SH Figuarts stand right there. Oh, and I was really hoping this would work, but it does not work. This accessory right here came with the second nano set for the Mark 50, and I was hoping I could get this attached to the Mark 85, and it's not really working out at all. Yeah, you got all these different ports and everything it needs to go into, but I don't know, maybe with some wax or something it can stay, right? Because we do see Iron Man with something similar to this in Endgame. Oh man, I love how this figure looks. Oh jeez, I'm loving that gold paint right there. Now unfortunately, just to get it out of the way real fast, I do have a minor QC issue with this figure. You can see that tiny speck of a dent right over there on that edge, but yeah, that's the only thing that really bothers me about how this figure looks. I think it is amazing. I love how we have this cool reflective metallic plastic or whatever it is underneath those lenses right there. That looks great. It's my nephew in the background screaming like crazy, but yeah, we have this nice gunmetal gray right over here looking really good, and I love the metallic red. That is awesome. That is great. I really love the silver paint apps right here. And then looking at the chest, that looks really good. As a quick recommendation for some head swapping with some Marvel Legends, we have our first 10 years Tony Stark right there, and it actually looks pretty good, you know. You just need to add some battle damage and stuff, but I like it, you know. And then you have the Age of Ultron Mark 43 Iron Man, and that looks pretty good on there too. Both of them are super wobbly and they don't fit snug or anything, but this one actually fits in really well with the red right here on the helmet. The gold almost matches too. SH Figuarts is obviously a lot more shiny. I love that blue color. That translucent plastic just looks fantastic on that arc reactor. That is dope. And the gold looks really good over here. I'm liking that quite a bit. Just, I mean, the design of this thing is just incredible. I love it, man. I'm looking at the arms right over here. That looks really good. I like how all the hands came out and stuff, so that's great. No complaints over there. The torso and everything looking awesome. See all these lines sculpted in here and everything. I just love how this armor looks, man. I'm just incredibly pleased by this thing. So happy. Look at that. That is great. Now, okay, a little complaint I do have is that I feel like they could have covered this up somehow, but we've seen that on Iron Man figures before. I think this is the Mark 43 that has the cover right there. It could just be the design of the armor, maybe not the fault of SH Figuarts, but yeah, I wish there was something kind of covering that up. You can see the peg holes right underneath, right under there. The pattern is underneath the feet, so yeah, the shins look pretty good. Love how this looks on the top right over here. And then looking on the back really quick, and you can see how we have, oh, and there's die cast in these feet, by the way. They are made out of die cast metal, so that does add heft to it. So I really dig that. I think I can hear it sounding like die cast, right? See the higher pitched sound? That's plastic, and this is die cast right here. So from the knees down, I think that's all die cast right there. But yeah, looking on the front of it, looks awesome. Then you get your Iron Man butt and back to the Iron Man back. I really like the articulation on this guy. You can move his head up very far, so that's great for the flying poses, and the neck and head allow him to look downward that much. You get side-to-side motion right here, and you can tilt the head a bit, and you could also move that neck joint side-to-side a bit, and that tilts as well. You get the butterfly joint right here. It doesn't go back, but it goes forward, which is better than it just only going back. Take note, Hasbro. You can also shift down and up right over here at the shoulder, and then you can move the arm outward very far. You can move it down, you could rotate a full 360, you get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, then you get the ball joint at the wrist right here, so you can move it any direction you pretty much want to. You get a diaphragm joint that turns side to side, great diaphragm pivot, crunches forward that much, you get some garbage, but it's not the worst, and then it comes back that much right there, and I say not the worst because it's not going to be visible in a lot of photos. It does look horrible, but it's not that bad when I'm taking pictures. Anyway, you get the waist swivel right here, and it does have some waist pivot, and then you can crunch forward at the waist a bit and back a little bit. You want to be careful to make sure that you're underneath this little piece right here. I did just chip this a slight bit, so I'm a little irritated by that, but not a big deal. Anyway, the hips move downward, and then they move out that much, and yeah, this whole panel piece kind of gets in the way some, but yeah, you can see the legs moving out that far, and then you can shift up that much at the hip. You know, again, this drops down, making it a lot easier, and you can move back. You can turn the thigh side to side all the way up there at the hip, and then you get these great double jointed knees. And then the ankles do turn side to side. You can move them down, you can move them up. He has beautiful ankle pivot and toe articulation. Now to measure out this Iron Man figure, you can see that he is standing just under the 6.5-inch mark. And then here's the Mark 85 next to a couple other SH Figuarts Iron Man figures. We have the Mark 45, and then we have the first of the Mark 50s right here. These all look really cool side by side, and I'm glad that they didn't reuse any parts from this figure. It's a totally new figure compared to the Mark 50. And then here's the Mark 85 next to a couple other Iron Man figures. We have the die-cast Mezco Iron Man, and then we have the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Series 1 Iron Man. And you can see where the inspiration for this Mark 85 came from. It's clearly inspired by the classic Iron Man, which I just think is awesome. Then here's the Mark 85 next to a bunch of Marvel Legends from Avengers Endgame. We have the Build-A-Figure Hulk, we have Rescue, War Machine, and the Armored Thanos. And yeah, it's definitely an SH Figuarts and not a Marvel Legends figure, so it's not perfectly in scale, but could totally be posed with any of these figures and it could work out. Then to compare this Endgame Mark 85 Iron Man figure next to a couple SH Figuarts Infinity War figures, we have the Hulk and we have the Iron Spider, which could also count as an Endgame figure because we saw him only really as the Iron Spider in Endgame. And then here's the Mark 85 SH Figuarts Iron Man figure next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. And no stop motion today, you guys, as I'm at San Diego Comic-Con at the moment. So my biggest gripe with this figure is just the lack of accessories. I think for the price point, even at $80, which it was originally retailed at for US buyers, at $80, I think it should have come with more accessories than what it has. It's very standard. But other than that, man, I really like it a lot. I love the articulation. I love the aesthetics. I mean, I have a couple minor gripes here and there, but really, I think this is an amazing armor. I just love the design of it. I think the execution of this figure is amazing. So at the price point of around $80, for me, it costs $125. I'm still giving it a SUD rating of I love it! And I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments section below. And I'm curious to know how much you spent on this figure too, because the prices do fluctuate. There may be a second round of these figures coming out where it will go for cheaper again, but I don't know, man, so we'll see. But anyway, let me know. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell if you have not already. And a big thanks to all these people over here that help support this YouTube channel and make it possible for me to make these videos. If you want to see the latest in Marvel news, be sure to check out marvelousnews.com, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Links to everything I talked about in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face, I said, my shot, your face, I said, my shot, your face.